Hi, Erica.
Hey guys, how's it going? Melissa, nice to see you.
Hello, hello.
Hey Laura, welcome.
Hello, how are you guys doing
Hello.
today?
Good.
Good.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. How are you guys doing?
I think it stopped. Oh no, it's still snowing here in Salt Lake.
Oh,
I am missing it. So Florida's been really nice and I've been in a tank top all week, so I really have no complaints, but I'm really sad I can't wear my beanie. Everybody I've talked to, either in the UK or on the East Coast, is having snow, and I'm kind of sad about it.
I think Delane is trying to log in.
So, yeah, it looks like she's joining. We'll give her a minute. No worries. Just while she's getting set up, how's everybody's December going? Any like kinks with clothes coming up, anything like that?
No,
Hey Delaney.
hi.
Hey, Jody, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. We haven't seen you for a while, but
I
sure
know.
appreciate being able to jump on here.
Good.
Oh yeah, happy to have you. So on both of your ends, like how is customization going? How is Keeper going? Anything coming up on your guys' end, good or bad?
Yeah, there's actually a couple items that we wanted to discuss with you. As far as good reports, I think it has helped our team immensely. We have worked now through our second close, or we're on the second close, right, Laura?
third, second, yes, yeah.
Second, yeah. And there's been a lot of struggles with click, 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 click with the team. And then for some of the higher level bookkeepers, it's really hard to transition from the way that you're used to doing it to the way that Keeper has you do it. So yeah, those are, but all in all, we're very happy that we implemented it. Jody, we're very happy that we've got your templates in there.
Great.
And we've started tweaking some things.
Wonderful news.
That's awesome to hear, truly and
Good.
honestly.
Yeah, we also have started to onboard our Woodlands, Odessa office.
Awesome.
No, Midland. Laura, do I say
Midland.
Midland, Odessa office. And they're hoping to go live January 1st, but I don't know if they will because they had a few hiccups. So
Yeah, that'll be exciting to see kind of how that rolls out for them as well. As always, we'll be here if you guys run into any questions or any snags while you're rolling that out. But especially since you guys have been able to at least get that ball rolling and kind of see what's coming up for you guys, you at least have that leg up when they're starting to get theirs set up. So that's really awesome to hear.
Yeah, and we greatly apologize. For some reason, your email went to our junk mail, and Laura just barely found it an hour ago.
Oh my.
And so we're jumping on, and we're great to be here. We also need to let you know that Chris is no longer with our company, so you would be,
Gotcha.
Laura and I would be corresponding with you directly.
Okay.
So I feel very unprepared, but Laura, do you want to jump into some of the questions you have about the reconciliation?
Yeah.
Especially the reconciliation checklist is where we're struggling.
Yeah, so when you hit the reconciliation checklist, and you hit the 3 dots, and then it lists you for the month that you're working on. In like this example is November. We have all of the entries, debits and credits. What is like the purpose of that? Is it that, because obviously if we've already reconciled over here in QuickBooks, it's like we already went through it, so are we going through
Right.
it again?
That is a great question. Let me look through this real quick. I'm checking my demo account. So on your screen, when you go to that and you look at it, does it, there's a column here. Let me get to
I
it.
certainly can share my screen if that helps.
I'll share. Let me see it real quick.
I don't know if I have one that we haven't
Okay,
touched.
this column right here,
Mm-hmm.
if it says uncleared, or if it says, let me get a few more months in here. Cleared but not reconciled, or it would say reconciled.
Right, we're
So
seeing
basically, it's
mostly
just-
reconciled.
If it says reconciled, you can just mass clear them. So if all of them say reconciled, you could filter by that. Say like, pretend this one said reconciled. I could click here, say, okay. I was like, all right, I know all of these have been reconciled. Let me come over here and change the status to reviewed and saved, and it's done. That's how you can get this to be cleared out. Then the only thing that would be remaining is what's uncleared or what's cleared but not reconciled. So it just gives you another catch for those items that might be lingering that you're not sure, why are these still out here? Is it a duplicate? Is it something else? You may already be doing this in QBO as well. But this would be the purpose of that is to just double check and make sure that there aren't any transactions still remaining.
So I wonder if it would be helpful to our team if we actually put that in the checklist, like filter this and mass clear, reconciled, and then examine those that are still in the cleared but not reconciled or cleared state, uncleared state.
Right. Yep. And you could even just, edit your checklist a little bit to make that more clear.
Because when I read the checklist, and ours is extremely similar to yours, except that, we took some of the verbiage out that didn't relate to the software that we're using. But basically, it just seems like it's walking me through reconciling in QuickBooks.
And that's because I can't reconcile it here. This is more just a double check for it.
Okay. All right, so my next question is in the payee/entity review. You have a list and you either mark it yes, no, unknown, that we do need 1099s.
Oh, for the 1099 one?
Well, this one says newly added vendor report is what I'm looking at. Yeah, that one. Nope. Yeah.
Newly added vendors report.
Right. So we have a list in ours. Does that list ever go away? Because it's just we don't know how to make them go away. It's like, yes, I'm acknowledging this.
Okay.
As a no.
So yeah, that's what ours would look like. It's
Message only transactions.
Because you know how you have the arrow for advanced deposits? We'll click that, and then I'll click the 3 little boxes that it's connected to as reviewed, but it never goes away.
That's a great question for Keeper, because I am not clear on that either.
Okay.
Erica, did
So-
you make note of that question so we can follow up with Keeper too?
Yeah, I'll add that to our list, and especially since Melissa, you were kind of nodding your head along, I'll go ahead and add that to our list where we'll reach out to Keeper, and then we can do a quick Loom after just to give that quick update about what their answer was or anything like that, and shoot that over to you guys
Yeah.
afterward.
Does
So
that
when-
happen? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so when you built this checklist, it's basically let's look at the newly added vendors
For the current
and
month.
for the current month, and do we need to add more information for them, right?
Yeah. Or well, no, I wouldn't, the duplicates would be caught up here. But yeah, it's so you can go ahead and say exactly what you just said. Does it need more information? When you entered the vendor in, maybe you didn't know whether they needed a 1099 or not. Or if you've done anything with them in the past. So yeah, there's something here. I would just look at it for the current month. Wouldn't worry about previous months at this point. Once you've reviewed them and you know, like, yeah, everything's good in our vendors now, I would only focus on the current month to see, okay, who did we add new this time? And like you said, just update the information as you need to.
But as far as you know, there's no way to make them go away.
I'm not
Even-
seeing one, no.
Okay.
The only other way to remove them is to exclude them.
Okay.
But I don't think that is the right way to do it. So I
Right.
think it could be that something just got left off, or it could be that Keeper had a different idea in mind for this checklist. So I will follow up and see how they respond to that, and maybe we update the section.
Okay. That's all I had, Delane.
You had mentioned that there was a lot of clicking, and that's kind of hard to get used to when you come in and you've got all of these checklists to check off. I did want to confirm that if you can just check off the main header. I do not believe that you have to check off all of the other ones in order for it to close and be marked as done and highlight in green.
The reason that we felt like we wanted to require that from our staff is so we know that they're reading it.
Right,
And not
yes.
just saying, oh yeah, I reconciled the bank account. I didn't look at uncleared or anything, but yeah, I reconciled the bank account.
Okay, good.
So-
I mean, that's why it's there. But as people get used to it, or if anything changes in your processes, or for other firms who may not need it, that is an option too. You can't just click the main header, say, yep, I've done it all.
So I
Okay.
do know, I from experience in my little career with Keeper, is that when I was doing a report to see, in tasks for the staff, and I'm like, I have all these sitting in there, but I know everything is done. And actually, we have been we were not checking. The main one was done for where the section for the 1099s is a part of, and we weren't clicking that. And it was popping up on my report as not, but the minute I clicked it, then it went away. And so by clicking just that top one, if you got little lingering ones in here, it still shows up on
It'll
your
still
report.
show up. Okay.
So. Yeah, the first time I pulled that report and I
Is that what
shared
you're
it
talking
with
about
the
right here
group.
with the task?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, I wanted to like show everyone all the open, and the
Yeah.
list was long. my name was on it, Delaine's name was on it.
I mean, I do think it's easy to miss some of those. I was helping another client kind of clean up their keeper. And this is exactly where I came to help make sure it's like, okay, we know that everything for April 2022 was done. So I'm just going to highlight all of these, mark them done because we know they're done. So it is a time saver to help clean up if you need it.
But why are they there?
Why were they there?
Yeah.
Somebody missed checking it off, like Laura said.
Yeah, they didn't click the bubble.
No.
Yeah, my list is long. Overwhelming.
Well, to break down the overwhelm, are you doing anything with your saved views?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I said to kind of counteract the overwhelm, are you doing anything with your saved views? So like you can save views up here. Like here I have high priority assigned to me. Now I only see two.
No, I wasn't.
That can really help. Utilizing the high priority task here, that will enable you to be able to sort by priority. It will also populate on your daily email if you have that turned on to say that these are the highest priority items that need to be done soon or today. So yes, you can do that. You can sort by overdue tasks to just see what hasn't been done yet. You could look at just this week so that you're not looking at further ahead. Yeah, you can play around with that to see what's going to be the best
Okay.
way to approach them. But it's super easy and quick to switch through here. So if you take the time to save different settings for yourself, then it can help break that down.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Jody, just for anybody on the call or the recording sake, would you mind doing a quick overview of how to create
Absolutely.
a new custom view?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the default. It's got everything in here. It's assigned to everybody, all priorities and all dates. But I really want to know what is due just today. Or let's see, maybe I want to know what's due today and what's still left to be done. I don't need to see everybody. I just want to see me. And you know what? I want to sort by priority. They can let me. Nope. Okay. I just want to focus on the priority task. So then I can come up here and right here, it says save view. You just click that and then rename it. So due today plus overdue. And I have the option to make this just a private list for me only, or I can make it a firm-wide list. If I were to have clicked on firm-wide, then it would show two people here to indicate that it's for your whole team, which means that anybody who logs in will have this as well. So they can just log in, click overdue task, and it will populate the list.
And just for context, another instance that we've seen here recently that may or may not be helpful to you guys' team is if you create a saved view for your different subcontractors. So you can go in as kind of managerial level or your firm owner and go kind of check everybody's list, make sure there's not any, and just get kind of a lay of the land, as well as they can have a really easy saved view to go to reduce that overwhelm on their part as well and just see what's assigned to them.
Mm-hmm. You also have the same option here to save views. So for example, we had set one up to show that these two columns, payroll and classes, those are custom columns that I created in settings in the properties tab, which I can show you where that is.
I was just going to ask, show me.
Yes.
Yes. But it's like we wanted to see this, but we don't need to see it all the time. We just wanted to check on it for, it's coming time for payroll. Who do I need to do that for? I can just quickly click on my saved view, see, okay, these are the two that we need to focus on. So that can be really helpful too. I know we have another client who is utilizing the custom columns. You come up here to settings for custom columns. All client settings. Yes. All right, let me restart that. So if you want to add, so this is your default view, standard columns, everything that comes standard with Keeper, depending on what you have turned on. So of course I have preparer and reviewer turned on. If you have manager turned on, another column would populate there. So if I come over here to all client settings, here's where I can easily mark if a client is using classes. If they are only being quarterly, I can even change whether they're accrual or cash-based. So there are some things here that you can do for your whole firm in one sweep instead of having to go in client by client. So this is a little time saver. You can also adjust your thresholds for some of those reports that get pulled. Okay, but moving over to properties, here's where you can fill in all the details about your customer. I have in here, this is a custom one. You can delete columns if you wanted to, any of them, even the ones that like EIN, primary contact, these are ones that come default with Keeper, but you can still take them out if you wish. They are also not part of the default view on your main client list. But okay, so if I wanted to add a new column, I can come in here and I can decide, do I just want it to be a place where I can type in a note? Do I want it to be a checkbox, which is like the payroll, where it's either on or off? Do I want to include some type of file here? Do I want it to be an attachment? Is it going to be a picker? This would be where you list out a series of options, and then it would be a drop down, just like this text box is, or just like this one is. This is a picker. I get to choose which one I want. You can do a date picker. So if you have, this could be for any reason. Say it's, you could make the column name the next pay date, next payroll date. Let's say next run payroll date, since that's different than the actual payday. And if I click save here, I have it now. It always, any new one you add will populate down here. But maybe I want it to be closer to my client name. So I can click on reorder columns and I can grab that next run payroll date and move it up here. Click close, close. Then I need to make sure that I can see it. So if I come here, I can click, yes, I want to see next run payroll date, and I want to see who has payroll. So I'm going to close that, and I now have those available. And I'm going to say, okay, these guys, they're due, the next run date is going to be the 21st. And for this one, the next run date isn't until the 26th. So now I have in here dates so that we know when is something going to be populating, like when do I need to come in here and do the payroll. And if I want to save this view, I can say payroll with run date. And I can make that firm wide so that all of my contractors can see this exact same screen for the clients that they have. So if I go back to the default, go back to default. There we go. Go back to the default. It will always come back to the screen. So if you want to be looking at a different screen more often, you would just come up here and click that. And those columns would populate. Anybody have any questions about extra properties, extra columns, updating any of those?
Jody, I'm looking at your statuses, and I really think having that cleanup in progress and onboarding in progress would be helpful to us. Can you remind me how you set up a new status? I'm sure that it's up there in your settings as well.
Absolutely. So your status options, and this will go for your statuses here, as well as your task status, custom task statuses. Ooh, say that 5 times fast. You come up here to practice and statement. Then you click on your tasks tab. And right down here at the bottom, you've got 3 options. The first one is those close options. And you have the ability to change colors as well, so it can stand out on the screen. You can add, the only two that you cannot remove are not started and done. All the rest of them you can edit, you can move them around, add or delete. Same thing for your task statuses. You can add more or delete these three. Of course, not started and done are default, and these do not have the color option. But this would be inside the close, the actual each path. That's what this status is for. And then your non-closing task tag. So this is only for that top non-closing task section. And you can add as many of these as you wish. Again, you've got the color option so that it can stand out on the screen. And you can add and remove as many as you. And that's all here under practice and statement set. These are great questions. Do you guys
Jody.
have any others? Yes.
So when you were putting in the new column for the next run payroll date, will that date automatically update?
No.
No, okay.
This is something that you would need to click on. So say you completed the run payroll on the December 21st, and you would want to come back in here and say, okay, now the next one's going to be on the 4th.
Okay.
And what I would recommend is within your payroll checklist, you have that indicated as a task to complete. So at the very end of your payroll, very bottom would be update next run payroll date on client list. So that way it will trigger the reminder to update.
So if I want to just know, I don't want to know the dates. I just want to know who all of our payroll clients are, and I want to create a view for just those. How do I do that?
You come up here to where it says add remove client properties,
Mm-hmm.
uncheck the one that you don't want, make sure that the one you do want, so you want a payroll, is showing, hit close, and that'll be there. And you can click save view
Then name it. Okay.
and just name it as payroll clients. And actually what we can do is sort this by on, and I can update my current view. I go back to default and then back to payroll. It even saves when you filter something. So I filtered out the ones that don't have it on, and it saved that within that view.
Okay. So then I have a different question.
All right, bring it on.
On the client list, I've got a list, and then of course I filter by preparer. Is there a way with this view that I filter by, just to make sure I understand the steps? I want to filter everything by Angie's name, and then I go up and hit the view and then just save that under Angie's, and that will, okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So watch. So I just assigned 3 to myself. And I want to filter by that. So okay, I only want to see this first.
Great.
Limits to that. Click save view,
Thank you.
and I can just say Jody's client. And you know what? I'm the only one that really needs to see this list, so I'll make that private. And then I have that as one of my saved views.
But you have to start off with how come I don't have?
You don't have to start off with default. If you already
So
have a
how
saved
did you
view,
get
would
that
update.
save view? Where's that at?
By making some type of change, any change. So right now it's on default. This is exactly how it comes up when you log in. But what I did was I clicked this button here to sort. I selected my name, hit OK. As soon as I
there it
made
is.
that change, it pops up.
I get it.
So any kind of change like that, it will pop up with, and see, I took that off and the save view deleted
Goes
because
away.
this is the default. Yeah.
You made me so happy.
Yay. That's awesome. And like I said, you can make as many of those views as you want. So instead of having to sort things all the time, multiple ways, and
Yeah.
you can just save it, and it will save you so much time and long.
Thank you.
Good. Again, these are excellent questions.
And Amber, just wanted to make sure you had a chance to speak in case there was any questions that had up. Did you come with any questions? Did you have anything about 1099s or end of year that you wanted to ask or anything like that?
No, but next time I probably will come with more questions. I'm like learning so much from you guys right now.
No worries.
Wonderful.
And that's a huge part of why we invite
Yes.
people to the calls, because you don't always have to come with questions. I just wanted to make sure you had a voice in case you did have one and you were just like
Yeah.
waiting for your turn or anything like that. But no, that's my favorite part of these coaching calls, even for myself, is like I get to hear questions that I didn't even know existed and new kind of things that I wasn't thinking about. So no.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome. Thank you.
So as a firm, I don't know how many more minutes we have left, but as the firm, we're kind of playing with the idea of using the 1099 process to ask our client to provide the W-9s for us.
Mhm.
Could you kind of walk us through that, since we haven't even looked at it much? I think that would be
Absolutely.
helpful for Laura and I.
Yep. So you come to that prepare 1099 section here. And I've actually updated it recently because they updated what they have in here. So my checklist has changed a little bit. But you certainly can. You can either ask the client or you can ask the vendor directly now for that W-9. So if you know that, if you say, okay, I know that Joe Bob, I need to get his W-9. You can either click here to ask the client for the W-9, or you can ask them for his email, or you can, if you have his email, you can do that directly. Now it's not going to let me because I don't have it open. I don't have an address there.
Yeah, so let's just say that we're going to ask our client.
Yep, right here from this column here, ask client. You
Okay.
you can change what this question is, however you wish. You can update your template questions as well.
Okay, and then we push that to the client portal, right?
Yep, add to the client portal.
And then what happens from there?
So it's in the client portal, but the client doesn't know that you've added it yet because you have to email them to let them know that there's something new there. So when you're done and you're ready for the client to go to the portal, answer any transaction questions, help upload files, you can come right here to the client portal, client emails, and you can just send them the, hey, you've got new questions email. Or if you have a template saying, we need some new W-9s, please go to the portal and upload them for the clients listed there. Then you would just hit send, and they would get that and be directed to the portal.
So they have to be a part of the portal. And if I'm
Yes.
asking for 15 vendors, they're going to send them 15 separate. Okay.
Not separate emails. It'll be separate questions on the portal.
On the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you set up this one email, and then in the portal, it'll have all of the questions or the vendors that they need to answer or get the W-9s for.
Got it.
So
Okay.
when you don't log in for a while, it sends you a magic link. But I can log into my portal.
Laura, just an idea, if you do have, like if you are going to have like 15 that you have to send to a client to actually get those, or, you know, anything like that, you might be able to break it up and do like set a reminder in the firm task or anything for you guys on a managerial level to go in and assign 7. And whenever you've gotten those, then you can go back in and do the next chunk and just send that client an email saying, okay, perfect, got those last ones, really appreciate it. I've got the last section of them, or break it up in some way like that might help too. Just so there's not that huge thud factor of like 15 and then somebody doesn't even touch them at all.
Right.
Okay, let me drag this over. Can you guys see this new tab? Or are you
Yeah.
still looking at the client?
Now we can,
You can see the portal?
yeah.
So you're not seeing the question that I just asked about the W-9 because I'm in a different client. If you have a contact that has more than one company, they will see this. They will see that there's a thing up here that says that you have something in another file. So if I click on the name, okay, I've got 4 questions in a different client's portal. So then this is what the client will actually see. Non-transaction question is where the W-9 is going to pop up right here. They can say, oh yeah, I have that on file. I'm just going to upload it for you, and then that's done. So when you're doing the W-9s, this is how it would appear. So if you ask for 15, they would just see a list of 15 right here. And then they can add a comment, upload files, view what they've already put in there.
And one thing we've done in my other company to kind of reduce the clunk with some of the people who are like a little bit less tech savvy, or that you really have to push to even get in there, and then if they run into an issue, they're not going to do it, like they're those hard to kind of get clients, is going in and taking a really tiny, like really simple screenshot of the tabs that you're looking for, or go in and they're on the non-closing questions or something like that, just to make it super easy so that they know exactly where to go. And reduce that clunk and be helpful for some of those clients that are a little bit less tech savvy, or that might miss where to go for the other client, for the other account, or something like that.
You can even, this might be starting to get into the territory of too much information, but you have the option to put resources in here for your clients as well, and something that's called a sticky note. Let me show you both of those real quick, because I think they really come in handy. So under settings, practice settings, I believe. No, it's under client portal. You got resources. So I have this so that the resource tab is visible to the client. A sticky note, I want to enable sticky notes. And it could be all W-9 plus. Save that note. So now that I have that saved, if we go back to the portal, just a second to get back to the portal. And if I see if it'll just refresh for me. Dashboard, here's where that sticky note is. So if you have a sticky note about something specific, when they log in, they're automatically going to come to this dashboard. And if you want them to see something very specific right up front, you can put that in the sticky note right here. If you're just adding resources for them, then they would have to click on the resource tab to be able to see those. But the benefit of a sticky note is right here on top. So it's the first thing that they see when they log in. I think that's a helpful feature that not many people are familiar with.
Yeah, I think that could be very helpful.
Jody, I know that we can have non-QBO clients that we use while we're onboarding and that kind of thing. What about when, I mean, can you make a client inactive and still have that information, or do you have to delete them altogether?
You mean if you, so if you have, if somebody's in there right now as a QBO client, but then you want to take that off, so you disconnect it from QuickBooks, and they're now a non-QBO, is that what you're asking?
I guess that's how you do it, yeah.
Or are you asking, like, if I've offboarded them, but I still want to keep the information on them?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because there's a couple of questions in there.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
I know that this has been asked of quite a bit, and I don't recall what Keeper's response has been. If you just make them a we'll put it on our list to follow up with them to be short, but if you make them a non-QBO client, so you're not being charged for them if they're not an active client for you, you'll still have your close information in here. But I would need to follow up with them to be certain about, okay, but all of the transactions that we did cover, would they be there? I believe that the client portal is still going to be there with the files that you have uploaded. But the more that I talk about this out loud, I would think that the transactions would not be there, because on a non-QBO client, all of those sections look like this. So you have no way of clicking on it again, open it up.
Right.
Okay, so that's if you, just to clarify, Jody, that's if you switch a QBO client to a non-QBO client, if you don't want to get charged for them, but you still want to retain kind of the closed information. That's what you're talking about, right?
Right.
Okay. And then
I don't
is
have
there,
I was just going to say, I don't have my demo account set up for this, but you do have old closes. So this would be where I would really want to follow up with Ben and Kenny to find out, okay, if I've disconnected them now, you know, the current close isn't going to show me any reports. But if I click on one of my old reports, are they going to be there? That is an excellent question for them, and we'll find out that.
and then Jody, while we're talking about that, or just clients in general, is there a way to like archive a client who you've offboarded, but you still want to retain like that information on, or be able to like go back to them, or is it a full delete from what you understand?
From what I understand, it's you either delete them or you just disconnect them. I don't know if I'm not aware of an archive feature where you could go and find old clients. It is certainly something to follow up with on Keeper. And I vaguely remember seeing something in Canny for it. So you could always go into Canny and search for things like this too, to see if somebody else has requested it, because chances are somebody has, and then you can upvote. The more votes a Canny request receives, the higher up on the priority list it gets, and the sooner they will consider it for one of their update rollouts.
So on any of these, I'll add them to our list. We'll ask Keeper, and then as we get responses back, we'll either send you a loom of what they said and how to do it in the demo account. If it's not possible, then I'll go ahead and link the Canny report, if there is one, about this request, so that you can go directly to it and upvote it if it's not possible. But I'll make that super clear in the follow-up email. Great questions,
15
everybody.
minutes left.
If by accident someone opened up December and I still have not cleared everything out for November's close, we cannot, is there a way to, and they haven't started, is there a way to undo December?
I don't think that you can undo it, but you can go back to November.
Right, yeah.
So you can click in here and it will open up that one.
Right.
But to have it be the one that's shown here, I'm not aware of a way to send that back. I would think that if there were, it would be right here. You'd be able to click on this to drop down and then select the close you wanted to see it here, but that's not available. Again, another great request for us to put in for Keeper. But yeah, so the only way right now is to just click the down arrow and open it from here.
Okay.
If you are a super admin, actually maybe even admins have it now, you could delete the November.
Well, I don't want to delete November. I just,
And then I think it would go back to the October. And then
Yeah,
you
no.
can choose to start November when you're done with them.
Now, she had went in on her own and opened December, because in your task, it says I'm the one who opens it. So every time I open, it's, it goes to December, and then I'm looking and I'm like, this is no, I need to, go on top shuffle. And so I'm like, I asked Elaine, is there a way we could just undo it and it just reverts back down to, open? But she said no. So I just thought I'd ask anyway.
Yeah, I think the
No,
only
you
way
do a
to do
secret.
that is to delete it. And then when you're done and ready for it to open, then you click the start and it would be there.
So that I guess that's the question. So
That
it will
would be the
there.
undo. Yeah,
Oh.
I just did it. So I just clicked November and now it's up here. So I deleted it and then I started it again.
Okay. Good to know. So we can do that, Laura.
Amen.
Yeah, so it sounds like you could do that if you wanted to delete that December and restart from December 1st, or at least have that option. That sounds like a way to do that.
And I'll do it again real quick just to show you again, so that you look for the date you want. It says it's not started, it's accidentally started. I want to delete that one. Once I did that, it'll refresh and it will show me that it is back in October. I do what I need to complete October. Okay, now we're ready to start it. I'm going to click start. It refreshes. We're ready to go.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. That'll help us.
Good.
I mean, they get click happy,
It's easy to do, I'm sure.
They're being very efficient.
Now, I will say that if they had said that they completed anything, all of that would be erased and they would be back to everything at 0.
Mhm.
And these tiny little, I was just going to add, these tiny little things might be something that if you do hold a monthly or a weekly or a bi-weekly call with your team just for quick updates, game plan, stuff like that, that might be a quick one to notice, or to just have a little note of anything like that, so that the broader team, you can just have those quick little updates and not make a big deal about it or anything like that, but just like, hey, couple of quick things. We've noticed a couple people going in. If this happens, I have to erase all the work that you did. So don't do that. Be careful to be click happy. But that's a way to really quickly introduce it to the team without calling it out, and just like fly over those things in a quick respect of like, hey, I'm going to have to erase all of this. So I would be careful not to do this without calling anybody out.
And then, so you have to be I don't
Super
see
admin.
those garbage cans.
Even if you scroll over,
Yeah.
all right, then it's only the super admin that can do that.
Okay.
So it's whoever you have that is the primary, and you can see that in users. If you're an admin, you'll have the settings and you can see who it is. So like Ben is mine, but I can still see them. That's where I'm wondering if other admins have it.
Is there only one spot for a super admin, Jody? Do you know the answer to that?
Only one.
Okay.
You can make as many team members as you want an admin. Having admin access gives you access to the settings wheel to be able to make any updates here. It also gives you access to the templates.
Okay.
Standard users do not have those.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Jody, because we had both Chris and I set up as super admins.
You did. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
And that may be.
I can't choose that. I have to go to Keeper and ask them.
I was going to say that must be something that Ben or Kenny does. Yes.
Yeah.
Because right here I can make them an admin, but I can't make anybody else.
Yeah. No, it's not a choice we have, but it can happen.
Okay.
But that's good to know
Great
that if somebody is
clarification.
running into the same thing, just email Ben or Kenny and kind of get that, just let them know that needs to be added.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jody, I have a question.
Yes.
So when I was setting up a client, I just pulled all the templates in and not necessarily like the ones that I should have. How do I go back and unlink templates?
Unfortunately, you cannot.
Okay.
So the only thing that you can do is come in and click on H1 to delete them.
Okay.
That's the only way to take out what you didn't want in there, unfortunately.
Okay. So, and then and correct me if I'm wrong, in like the template, I can set dates in the template in
Absolutely.
this section. And then when I roll it out to my clients specifically, they'll have all the dates and everything in there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And you can update and change those dates as well. So say you have a client that's doing a cleanup and they have a specific date that you want to put in there. And then you have another cleanup client who, well, their stuff's not due until February. You could update all of this again and hit add to client. So once you select a date here, that doesn't mean that the template is stuck on that date. You can update the dates and apply them to other clients.
And it will push, as long as it's in the template, it will push it to all clients or?
Only the clients you select from here.
Oh, okay.
Only the clients. And if you've applied a template to a client before, then you come in here and make updates, say you add dates to it, that will not change what you've already added. You'd have to do add again. So you would select that same client again, drop the template in, and it would update whatever your changes were.
Thank you.
And one thing to be careful there, Jody, double check me to make sure that I'm correct on this, but if you applied the template the first time, then you go in and you're like, oh, shoot, I should have added the date in there. You change the template, apply that new date, but you've changed any of the text of those actual like clear bank feed to clear the bank feed or something different. Is it going to add a duplicate in there or are you probably okay?
We're gonna just go ahead and do this. Add to client. So this as is going to be added to the client. I'm going to select 14th, 16th, and just leave it like that. If I wanted to, I could make these repeat from here. But for this one, we're just gonna wait, and I'm gonna say clear each bank feed. I'm gonna add that into my client again. And then we'll go to our client's close and see how that applied. You can see that the dates were added, but you are exactly right, Erica. Because I added another word in there, it's not identical to this one. And so it changed. I mean, it duplicated it.
Yeah, so just to clarify, if
Very
it's
good
the
point.
exact same language, it'll go ahead and auto update that, right, to whatever you did last. But if it's new or if you've changed it past that first template and you go and add it again, it's going to add a duplicate. Now, that would be relatively easy to go in and click that one and delete it on the client level, but just wanted to be aware of that difference, that if you did go ahead and apply that and then you change some of the wording on that client, it may give you a duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
And just to clarify on that, that's if you change the title, not if you change the checklist. You can change the checklist as much as you want, but it's the title that will.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to test for you.
Okay.
So I'm adding a second checklist here that says testing what updates. And I removed my dates again. So now I'm going to add this back to the same client. And this is definitely how I recommend when you're playing around in here, do it exactly like this, where you check things. You pick one or create a test account and play around with, okay, if I drop this one in and then I drop that one in, what does it do? So you can kind of experiment as you go. So you'll notice that I took out the dates in my template, but the dates did not remove from here. They're still here. Templates don't delete things. They just update or change it. It did not update my checklist. I wonder why it didn't update my checklist. I bet I didn't save it. Let's try it again. Let's see if it's still in there. It does, it has it there.
So Jody, just to make sure I'm tracking, you went in and you're trying that same experiment again to see if it was something goofy or if it does actually update, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Or if it duplicates or anything like that. So it's not there. It's not showing up. I wonder if it's because this has a date.
Interesting. I can put that on our list of like checking after the fact as well, and just make sure that we have a clarification on like what updates and what doesn't on those template levels, or if it was because we had a date or something like that. So we'll play around with that one and see kind of what the general verdict ends up being too.
This is what I love to do. I love to experiment in here and solve all of these curiosities.
So when you, will you go ahead and go into that first one, sweeps a lot, and just go into, just click any of them. So you see where it says task description. I'm starting to write a little bit more specific stuff for that client. If I write that in there, it holds it. And then when I open the next month, it's going to carry that over.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah.
I will say, so I would say that for anything that is not in the non-closing task. If it's in the non-closing task like this one, since it's a cleanup, you would need it to be a recurring task for it to come back at any point. If there's no date here, or if there's only one date and it's not set to repeat, then once it's marked complete, it disappears. It will not regenerate on the next month close if it's in the non-closing task set. The only section that works that way. Any of these other ones, anything that you update 1 month will follow over to the next month, except for attachments. Something else we discovered.
Right. I learned that one.
Yeah. There is a canny request in for that though.
So Jody, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Will we have another one of these Q&As?
We can definitely add you onto the January one. I know you guys missed last month, so we'll make sure you guys get in and get any last minute questions settled, especially after end of year and stuff like that. No problem.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it. And then can I send you an email of one of our other staff members in the Midland office that she would benefit from being on here?
Yeah, absolutely. Send that email over to me and I'll add her to the January list when we send that out to you guys. And that'll be super easy. So keep an eye on that. I'll probably add you guys or send that out about a week before. And we usually do these kind of middle of January. So if you don't hear something that second week or let me actually look at the calendar and make
it's usually the third Wednesday of the month that we do this. So it's right after month end close.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't gotten an email reached out to you by like that end of week 13th of January, let me know. And because I want to make sure you guys get that. And I know it went to junk last time. So give me a little heads up on that front, but I'll try to keep an eye on it too.
Perfect.
And you can let your coworker know to be on the lookout in the spam folder as well, since the email set up that way for you guys gets caught.
Okay.
Or if there's a way for you guys to add it to accepted emails so it doesn't get caught in spam. You could tell her that ahead of time. So hers will come through. All right, ladies, this has been a
Okay.
great session. Thank you so much for coming. And again, I've said it numerous times, but these were great questions today, and I really appreciate it. So hope you have a good
And-
rest of your month.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy holidays,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.